Today I have the great fortune to be interviewing Susanna Miller-Raines, the Inclusive Postsecondary Education Coordinator for the Southeastern region, and she also works for one of our youth in Georgia, and she's also a friend of mine. So welcome, Susanna.
Thanks, I'm so glad to be here.
What does TPSID stand for, and what are they?
So TPSID stands for Model Transition Programs for Students with Intellectual Disabilities. TPSID programs are inclusive college programs that are funded through the Higher Education Opportunity Act, and they're across the United States. There are actually 48 schools that have TPSID programs, so that they're receiving money from the federal government.
Can you help the audience understand the importance of the Higher Education Act?
Yes, so it is actually the Higher Education Opportunity Act, which was rewritten and reauthorized in 2008, and it put forth the information on having inclusive college programs for students with intellectual disabilities, and it made possible funding for TPSIDs. So TPSID grants are 5-year grants, and they're $2.5 million each, so $500,000 each year to programs or to consortiums to build model demonstration inclusive post-secondary ed programs. Also in the Higher Ed Act, it makes provisions for students to receive financial aid, so money to help them go to school. So students who go to schools that have what is called a comprehensive transition program designation, so you have to apply for this through the U.S. Department of Ed Office of Financial Aid. So if a school is approved as a CTP, the students at that IPSE program, that inclusive college program, can get Pell Grant money. They're also eligible for federal work study. So that also helps students to be able to work on campus and receive some financial aid for that. The Higher Ed Opportunity Act also allows for and asks for a national coordinating center. And Think College at the Institute on Community Inclusion in Boston, another USED, they are the National Coordinating Center for Inclusive Postsecondary Ed. So they coordinate and provide assistance to schools who have programs or want to have programs.
Thank you. I think you use a lot of acronyms.
There are a lot of acronyms.
So can you explain to the audience what are those acronyms mean?
So TPSIDs are Model Transition Programs for Students with Intellectual Disabilities. CTP is a Comprehensive Transition Program, which you apply to through the U.S. Department of Education Office of Financial Aid. And were there others that I said?
You said PC.
PSE. So post-secondary ed means post-high school.
Thank you. The other word that I'm not sure the audience will understand is demonstration.
Model demonstration, yes. Model demonstration is a fancy word for pilots. So places like the U.S. Department of Ed give people money to run pilots. So they're pilot programs, even though we plan for them to stay around a lot longer.
Okay. I'm not sure that people will understand what pilot is. When people think of pilot, they think about driving a plane.
So pilots would be startups, so trying something out.
How can students and families find inclusive college programs?
That is an easy answer. So there are 263 programs as of right now across the United States, and you can find a whole list of programs at thinkcollege.net, and there's a button on the homepage that says College Search, and you click there and it shows you all the colleges and universities that have programs across the country.
Thanks again.
Oh, thank you. This is fun.